My guest today on Dolphin Tales is Molly Brock of the nationally ranked women's lacrosse program. Molly, thanks so much for joining me.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Well, there are so many different places we could go to start this. You guys have had unbelievable success as far as what you all have done as a team collectively on the field. You've had unbelievable individual success and part of that team goal as well. But really, let's just go back to the start of this season and how you all even approached this. We all know by now what happened last year in the unfortunate way everything came to an early conclusion. But how did you all attack going into this season as a team, and how have you seen that play out here so far?
Yeah, I think it was definitely really tough having our season cut short last year. It was really sad seeing all our seniors go and them not being able to finish out their senior season. But we were definitely one of the luckier teams who have been able to practice all fall, even though we weren't, allowed to play other teams and everything. We were still able to continue to build our chemistry throughout the fall. And I think that was honestly what gave us a leg up. And even going into our first game against High Point, I think playing another opponent for the first time in a year is crazy. And I think just looking at all the different lacrosse games that have been going on, anybody can win any game at this point. A lot of things are up in the air. So we knew that we had to attack this season as hard as we could. And I think a lot with our preparation is what really gave us the leg up against all these big teams. And I think after the High Point game, it was tough still going into our next game against ECU because we almost had to go through a whole preseason again. We weren't playing for another month. So we played High Point, had a month break, and then had to play again. So it was just kind of like a weird, rocky start. So I think now our team's just super excited because we're kind of in the groove of, playing game after game and like being able to go with our game plan and execute well. So I think we're just been really excited to be in the middle of all these games. It's been awesome.
We've seen so many examples. I mean, I'm just pulling basketball off the top of my head. Teams that have gotten into a season, boom, a pause for some reason or another, and then it's just hard to pick up where you left off after that. How are you all able to kind of maintain a little bit of that focus, that momentum, despite the layoff?
Yeah, I think a big thing that our team prides in is the extra work that we put in throughout the week. So besides our lift and regular practice, people are constantly coming in for extra film. We're always coming in meetings with coaches, doing individuals, shooting outside. A lot of our upperclassmen also take pride in kind of taking the underclassmen under their wing and really showing them, how to succeed and do well. So everybody on our team, nobody's selfish. Everybody wants to help each other. So I think that's what really benefits us because everybody wants everybody to succeed. We're a team and we want to do well and get far. And I think that's really shown, especially when we get to play these top 10 teams. And I think it really shows.
You bring up the upperclassmen aspect, you being one of them now, but it doesn't feel like that long ago that you were the hotshot freshman that came in and was helping a team to an NCAA tournament win. You're named ASUN tournament MVP that year in capturing a conference championship. How have you managed to go from probably being someone who was looking up to upperclassmen while having success to now helping some of the younger players that were in your seat not that long ago?
Yeah, it's definitely been a weird transition, as you said, coming in as a freshman, and then all of a sudden I feel like I'm a junior all of a sudden. It's crazy. I think, you got to realize that this happened to everybody and everybody's kind of on the same page. So you kind of have to just grow and go with the punches. I think me, especially when I was coming in as a freshman, I was definitely kind of one of the quiet ones, not always the one to like speak up and everything. And now I think I've really learned to, grow and have my own voice and really know the importance of being able to talk to some of the underclassmen and take them under my wing and give them some different tips and tricks and stuff. Because if we want to be able to, beat these big name teams and be nationally ranked, I think we need to take those extra steps. So I think that was really important. And that's something that I've definitely had to learn a lot this year really fast. So,
well, luckily as a young player, you were able to get a taste of success in how to manage that, because this team 2 weeks ago beats the number 5 team in the land. biggest win, regular season win, unquestionably, in program history. You back that up with another ranked win on the road against Virginia Tech this past weekend. And you are recognized nationally and through the league, winning awards. How do you manage to kind of balance that out, right? Like you're getting recognized individually. The team is obviously getting this type of attention now as well that you want, but how do you keep focus throughout the course of all of that?
I think it's really important just coming back to our original game plan. I think as a team, we have a really calm mindset when we go into games and we're just confident in our abilities. We stick with the game plan and don't stray away. We're not always concerned about the name on the opponent's jersey or anything. And I think especially having Florida being our first home game in a whole year was really exciting. And I think our whole team was just so excited to finally be on our home turf and play this huge game. Everybody just wanted to bring it and brought their best selves to that game. So it was just awesome trying to come together and like bring out that big win. And especially, I know I was talking to some of my teammates about it. It was just crazy because in the game we were so dialed, so calm, so focused, trying to stay dialed in order to pull this win through. And then right after, I think once time ran out, we realized what we just done. And it was just like pure emotion, pure excitement. That's just such a great moment to have with your teammates. And I'm just so glad we did it. But we did have Virginia Tech the next week, which is another top 20 ranked team. So even though we were so excited about that win, we had to dial it in and get ready for the next week, because if we beat this one team and then lost against the next, we could be labeled as a fluke, and we didn't want to be labeled as that because we knew that we were that good and we deserved that win. So it was really important for us to acknowledge the win, have fun with it, be super excited with our teammates and everything. But we knew that we had to just go on to the next game and be really focused for that.
Let's take a step back here. Molly Brock, you're from Maryland. Are you all just born with lacrosse sticks in your hands up there? Is that how this works?
I guess so. I mean, there's lacrosse all around Maryland. I grew up with it. It's everywhere. I started playing, I think, when I was in third grade. It's a really big culture up there, and a lot of my friends are lacrosse players, and definitely a lot of my lifetime friends. I don't know. It's just all over the place up in Maryland.
Feels like they need to amend the phrase. Crab cakes in football, that's what Maryland does. Probably needs to be crab cakes in lacrosse. That's what Maryland does.
Definitely.
When did you start playing? How early?
I was around third grade. I had never heard of lacrosse before. My parents have never heard of lacrosse before. My mom was like a tennis player. My dad played soccer here and there. They weren't really, and my mom had heard of lacrosse from one of her coworkers. She's like, what is lacrosse? Like, what is that? And so she decided to sign me up with one of my friends. And ever since then, it just clicked because I was one of those kids growing up where I was just busy all the time playing a million different sports. And I never really clicked with one sport in particular. And when I started playing lacrosse, I just fell in love with it. I love being able to just run up and down the field all over the place, burn out some energy. So I think ever since I started playing then, I've loved it ever since. So
what about going through high school? I mean, you discover it, you learn it, you figure out this is your sport as a youngster, and then you get a chance to obviously play at a pretty high level in high school and then get a chance to attract college attention. What was the process like playing amongst, I'm sure, an extremely competitive environment up in that area of the country in high school girls lacrosse, and then getting the opportunity to maybe go play college and then select JU?
Yeah, so I think once I got to middle school and got more serious with lacrosse, started playing club and everything, I think I realized that I was kind of able to take it to the next level. So for my high school, I originally would have gone to a public school that was just in my neighborhood, but my club coach was also the St. John's College High School coach in DC. It was a private school in DC. So she had reached out to me and was interested in seeing if I wanted to play at St. John's, where I'd potentially get more exposure. And they've changed the recruiting process since I was younger, where you can't even talk to coaches, even start the recruiting process until your junior year. So when I was in high school, I was going on trips my freshman year of high school, which is absolutely crazy coming out of middle school and already thinking about where I want to go to college. So it's definitely such a
Wow.
competitive environment. So I think it's definitely cool that they changed the rule and kind of give, players the ability to develop and everything. But I think being able to pursue my lacrosse career and going to a different high school and meeting new people in order to, put me in a better spot to be recruited and everything was definitely a crazy thing that I never thought was going to happen when I started playing lacrosse. I don't think my parents did either. So I think just, from playing lacrosse from a young age and like getting to the level, there's just certain steps, especially being in Maryland, that you have to take in order to get recognized by these schools and kind of figure out where you want to go to college and where you want to take your lacrosse career and everything. So it's definitely a crazy process.
Maybe that's the difference between you and me. I grew up and I was like, I'm going to get recruited, and then I didn't. So maybe I should have gone and just enjoyed it a little bit more.
Yeah, it's definitely a crazy process. Like every time for our club team in the summer, we'd have these summer tournaments, and we had to email the coaches any coach that we were interested in. I was sending out lots and lots of emails, saying, "Hey, I'm here, come to my game, like check me out and everything," which is just absolutely insane looking back on it, but definitely cool experience.
I'm with you though. The change in the rule, allowing students at the high school level to be able to just at least like get better, enjoy the process a little bit before you're like having to make a decision on where you want to go to college. I mean, how much do you change between the time you're 14 and you're 18? So much.
Yes, a lot. Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, so you've been at JU now. We documented it earlier. Now in your junior year, the sophomore year was a blip in all things considered. But what about this program is so special? I mean, I know Coach McCord and the way she does things stands out, but what about JU and lacrosse kind of makes this the fit that worked best for you?
Yeah, I think when I was going on my visits and visiting different colleges and universities and everything, I remember when I came down here, it was just the environment. I just had a feeling when I came down here. I knew I wanted to be somewhere warmer, and definitely being near the beach was definitely a big plus. I think when it comes to the team, we have such a great team culture. I wouldn't trade this team for the world. Everyone has such a great time together, and especially having our new lacrosse facility. I mean, people are in there all day, like laughing all the time together. It's just always so lively and amazing. And I live at the beach, so being able to have that, home at school where I'm constantly around my teammates all the time is just so amazing. And everybody just loves each other. And I haven't met a closer group of girls in my entire life. So I'm just so happy that I'm able to be a part of that.
That's great. And the ability to have a facility to where you guys can gather amongst each other. And that's been one of the hardest things, I think, with a lot of teams in the last year. I mean, you were separated from each other last year and didn't see your teammates for, how long, months. And to be able to come back and have kind of pick up that camaraderie where you left off with some of your teammates, but introduce the new teammates into that. And then almost sounds like you guys almost haven't missed a beat in that regard, which I know a lot of teams in the country across many sports can't say the same.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So where do you guys go from here? I mean, the goal is to keep winning. I understand that, but how do you all manage that? The ranking keeps climbing. You're 11th in the country now. I know it sounds a little bit like what I asked earlier, but here it's not going to get any easier as far as attention and everything like that as you all continue to approach the latter half of the season and then attacking an ASUN championship again.
Yeah, I think preparation is just such a big key for our team. I think so far we've done a really good job of executing and doing what we need to do in order to, take down these top 20 opponents. Since we just have our in conference teams, I think we just really need to keep developing our play, keep growing as a team and improving, and keep the ball rolling, and honestly have a goal of being undefeated for the rest of the season, which I think is very doable, but we need to kind of keep on track and not let up. And just because we've, beaten these the top 20 teams doesn't mean that we can let up and think that it's all done. We need to keep getting better and keep improving and carry that through the rest of the season and into next season. So we keep improving. And I think, again, what I was saying before, with just all the extra work and preparation that everyone puts in, I'm confident that we're going to be able to do that, and I'm not worried about it. So yeah, I think just preparing and keep grinding it out on the field, on and off the field, I think is just super important.
All right. You guys work hard. I know that. But give me a good story about how you all keep things loose, a little lighthearted, keep the pressure cooker from boiling over there.
Yeah, I think what I was saying about our team culture and everything, we're constantly laughing, cracking jokes with each other. We know when to be serious and when to like joke around with each other and have a good time. We're honestly great friends off the field, just not on the field too. We work so well together on the field, but we're all best friends off the field and love hanging out with each other. And we all have great relationships with our coaches, and they'll join us in on the joking around, especially on bus rides. Love bus rides and traveling with the team, because we have our time to dial in when we're in film or practice, but when we're all just hanging out and kind of off the clock and everything, everybody's just always having such a great time with each other. So we're definitely focused and a motivated team, but we know how to have fun and joke around with each other and be great friends.
Well, that's the important thing. Got to find that balance, strike that balance, keep things loose while staying focused the whole time. Molly, congrats on the success so far. I know it's far from over, and I know that you guys are going to stay locked in the rest of the season, and best of luck the rest of the way, and look forward to hopefully seeing y'all raising up a trophy at the end of all this when it's all said and done.
Awesome. Thank you so much.